How's it going? So back tonight, doing some fantasy football drafts, and we're going to try and do a super early DFS draft, or lineup selection rather, on DraftKings, and then try and finish up and do another $5 puppy draft on Underdog. But before we get to those lineups and best ball draft, kind of wanted to kind of give some insight and some tips on how to kind of do some research without having to pay those monthly subscriptions and having to pay to try and get some inside info on some of the NFL teams and some of the what teams might be doing with certain players and certain schemes or whatever, and then trying to get advantages in building lineups once the NFL season gets here. So let's try and see what we can come up with here on tonight's stream. So as I said, we're going to try and do a best ball draft on Underdog along with a DFS lineup on DraftKings. But before we get to that, again, I wanted to kind of go over kind of some tips that can help you become more aware and more informed before you start drafting some lineups or start building some lineups on for DFS during NFL season, without having to pay the $15, $20, $30 subscriptions to websites that kind of give you like the ownership of players and also some information to kind of like figure out what games to pick players from, and just some tidbits here and there that doesn't cost you a fortune or break the bank. So obviously going to the obvious sources, ESPN, just simply just look on there, night before on Thursday night when the week starts, Wednesday night, or hour and a half, hour before game time to try and figure out what players are going to suit up, which ones are going to be sitting out each matchup, and then again on Sundays before the main slates. As far as trying to figure out what games or what players or what teams are the best to try and pull players from, or which teams are gonna be giving you the most production as far as points go. Simply go to FanDuel or DraftKings, or even ESPN will even have some basic odds during the season. They'll have it here. Typically, if you click on the games, usually they'll have some sort of odds in there. Let's see if we can pick one up. They may not even have them up yet because it's so early, but DraftKings at this moment does, which obviously they're going to drastically change, with injuries, trades, holdouts, suspensions, whatever. Players coming off of the PUP list, and you'll see a lot of these change over time. But one of the things to look at when deciding what game to pull from, what players, what quarterbacks to pull from, or receivers, whatever, is to look at the point total. So that's this middle column here. So if you're not familiar with how basically the over-under goes for point total of each game, so between this game here, Las Vegas, the odds are saying that at least 51 points are going to be scored between these two. So the higher that point total, the better, theoretically speaking, the the fantasy picks will be in that game. So far, I think the highest one that I've seen is 53, as far as the over/under totals. So that would be your most likely matchup to try and pull players from. So you're looking at Patrick Mahomes stacked with Sky Moore or Mecole Hardman, Schuster. On the other side of that, you're looking at Kyler Murray, Hollywood Brown, Ertz. I'm trying to think. Rondale Moore, AJ Green, guys in that game, you're gonna want to try and build around. Then, if you want to try and get different, to try and pivot off of a lot of people who are under the same mindset. A lot of people are going to be trying to pull from that. If you want to kind of differentiate yourself, you can look at other games that are close and similar to that. So if you're looking at a contest that's got multiple entries like this one here, this one you can play up to 20 entries. It's only $1, so you can fill up all your entries for $20 for that one contest for the week. You can definitely build 20 different lineups with various players, but again, it's just something to look at as far as information to try and gather before you're building up your lineup. You can also look at player totals as well, what that looks like. Players that, which they don't have it up right now, but closer towards the season, they'll have some like prop bets or whatever that'll be able to give you like an idea of what players you can expect to throw for X amount of yards. Like, see if what players are going to be close to hitting that 300-yard bonus or the rushing yard bonus or receiving yard bonus on DraftKings to try and give you some more key points to look out for when building your lineup. And then also, it may seem pretty simple to think about as well, but I feel like not as much emphasis is put on it at times. Is just check the weather. I think last year there was a game with the Bills and the Patriots, and they were calling for a ridiculous amount of wind. I think Mac Jones threw 3 passes the entire game, and the Patriots won. Like, the conditions were just impossible to throw the ball in, basically. So just stuff like that can give you a little bit of an advantage when trying to build your lineup and outsmart some of your opponents. Obviously, there's going to be players that are going to be so far ahead as far as having certain information. Like, there's going to be guys that are going to be creating 20 different lineups and generators and paying for all these subscriptions to figure out who's what the projected ownership is for certain players, kind of giving them an advantage to figure out what players they can pick where that can differentiate themselves from the rest of the field in the contest. And sometimes you can actually go on YouTube and look up these guys on YouTube that are playing a lot and putting in a large amount of lineups in these contests, and sometimes they'll give you a list of who's going to be high owned players like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. I would expect Kyler Murray as well. It's going to be high owned players, and there's certain subscriptions you can get that can give you a pretty close estimation of what those ownerships will be like on players, so you can kind of take advantage of that and pick players that are going to be less leveraged and kind of differentiate yourself and possibly get an advantage over another large portion of the field as well. But again, if you don't want to spend the money on those subscriptions, you can definitely still get an advantage just by doing some simple research, like I mentioned before. Without paying $15-$30 a month for some of those subscriptions, whether it's Fantasy Labs. I think Roto's got some DFS ownership projections and stuff like that, and countless other websites. So just a few little tidbits as far as doing your research for DFS. But and so now getting into just building a DFS lineup for week 1. Again, I probably won't actually keep this lineup as I enter it in today. I'll probably end up editing the lineup once it gets closer, just because of injury and how the preseason looks as well. Especially with some rookies, if some look pretty good during their preseason, like Tolbert for Cowboys, now that Washington's basically going to be out, and so Tolbert's going to have to step up and fill in that role a lot quicker than probably anticipated. Another injury from today, Tim Patrick going down with a knee injury, torn ACL. So KJ Hamler could be looking at some increased volume this year, for the season really. So just stuff like that with injuries coming up. You may end up having to change your lineups last minute depending on injuries, suspensions, whatever. But again, going into how a lot of players build their lineups, how I've come to build lineups as far as DFS lineups go. So week 1, you're going to be able to take advantage of a lot of players because there's no information as far as this current season's going. Obviously, the studs as far as players go, they're going to be higher up on salary, but you're going to get, this is the best time to try and play is the first 5 or 6 seasons, or 5 or 6 weeks rather. Just because not only are other players trying to figure out who holds the most value and who's actually going to perform well, DraftKings doesn't really have much of an idea of who's truly going to earn their salary price point. So early in the season, you can take advantage of a lot of you can really take advantage of price points as far as players with running backs, receivers, quarterbacks. But one rule of thumb I like to do, and a lot of other fantasy players as well, you have one quarterback and two wide receivers on the same team, and then one opposing wide receiver from the other team. So going back to trying to figure out what game to pull from as far as picking players, you want to pick high total games. I think the highest one was 53, was the Chiefs and Cardinals game. So you can pick from them. You can go for the Chargers and Raiders. Got the Cowboys Buccaneers game. Any of those games really are viable selections as far as like trying to build those stacks and trying to build those lineups with a lot of correlation within that game. So, with that being said, I know this is the highest total game, but I would rather differentiate myself and go with this one here. I'm going to go Bengals and Cowboys. Reason being, I know what two receivers are going to go get a lot of the target share for the Bengals, and I know that really their one viable receiver is going to be CeeDee Lamb or Schultz. But as far as receiver goes, definitely CeeDee Lamb. So you can definitely build a strong lineup with that. If they're even in this here, which is actually kind of surprising. Huh. Wow, they're not even available for this, I don't think. So, when is that game? Should be. Am I just missing it? Why? I'm kind of perplexed right now. I don't understand what's going on here. Okay. Alright, that's week 2. So, I read that completely wrong. So, that's week 2. So, that's a good week 2 matchup. But, going back to week 1, again, we're looking at Chiefs and Cardinals, Bucks and Cowboys, which that's basically the same point as the game I was talking about before with the Bengals and the Cowboys. You know, Godwin's probably going to be out. I doubt he plays week 1. Julio's going to be on a pitch count basically. And again, going back to the Cowboys, only having CeeDee Lamb and Schultz. Other viable games, you got Chargers and Raiders. You can pivot off of that Chiefs and Cardinals game. So that's another good pick you can go with. And then got obviously the Rams and Bills. So really you can kind of figure out, where you want to, pick up those salaries and which players you think will fit in best. But I'm not sure that I want to go with the Buccaneers and Cowboys because I have questions about whether or not they're going to try and run the ball a little bit with Zeke early on in the season. But that's not to say that I won't come back with other lineups in the future before the season starts to come back and set up a lineup for them. But I think, again, just kind of pivot off this game here. And I know a lot of people are going to try and go after this game here too with Josh Allen and Stafford. I think what I'm going to do is go I think I might just go completely different. I don't know. I kind of like this game here too. I feel like that might be a sneaky game, even though the point total is not as high. But to kind of stick with the high point total and and because I know you can build pretty good stacks with it. Go with that Raiders and Chargers game. So pick up Herbert. So starting quarterback, you got to find a bring back player. So we'll pick Renfro as our bring back. I feel like Chargers are going to make sure that Adams isn't going to dictate how that game goes, just to make a point on defense. Now, whether or not I want to try and pick up both Williams and Allen, I could probably do that because of how the price points are set right now. But let me see. I mean, it's definitely doable, especially with how low tight end's going right now. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Henry, too. That way I can figure out exactly what we're looking at as far as remaining salary goes. And one thing that is not really necessary as far as picking for DFS is defense is where you can really save a lot of salary for DFS. So, I mean, you can just go ahead and pick, super cheap defense because there's a very little amount of variance as far as the scoring for defense. I think on average, the difference between the highest and lowest scoring defense is usually less than 6 or 7 points. But so you can definitely save salary on defense, and oftentimes tight end, with the exception of obviously the big 4 or 5 tight ends that are massively massive outliers as far as scoring for that position. So going back to figuring out who I want to pick up as far as that double stack, I'll go Williams, and I can also look for some value at running back. Saquon Barkley being at 6,100, you won't see that past week 4 if he's healthy. You won't see that. He'll be up in the 8,000, 9,000 range by week 5, week 6 this season, just because everybody's staying clear of him because of the injuries the past couple seasons. You won't have any issues with that. So go ahead and pick him up now while you can at that price point, because you won't see that very long. So got running back. We got to find some value at wide receiver so we can pick up Allen as well. So, and Allen's going to be at what? He's going to be at $7,000. So we got to get down into 5 somewhere with the receiver in order to make it happen. I like Sammy Watkins. Veteran wide receiver. You got a rookie as your number 1 wide receiver for the Packers right now. So I'll take Watkins, assuming that he stays healthy and can gain some chemistry with Rodgers before the season starts. All right. So we know we're going Allen at $7K. So now we got 6,400 to pick our last running back, which leads us to Harris, Jacobs, Madison, Montgomery. Um, Honestly, you also won't see this for very long if they use them like I think they'll use them. Now, you can say I'm a home team guy, got his jersey back here, all that. Regardless, if he's utilized the way I think Doug Peterson will use him, guy who likes to be creative with his running backs and play schemes, I think ETN's going to be running wild this year. So, another thing to try and do is you try not to leave more than 400 or 500 in remaining salary here for any kind of DFS lineup. So I can upgrade here at wide receiver or tight end. I like the Henry pick against Miami. So I'll see if I can find a better receiver at that price point. And better than Watkins or better than Watkins, I like Bateman. Other than Mark Andrews, I don't see anybody else getting more targets than Bateman this year for the Ravens, unless they sign somebody like Will Fuller or something, or even OBJ or something like that. So, yeah, again, try and use as much salary as you possibly can. Try not to leave more than 500 left in remaining salary as far as DFS goes. So, again, go for high point total games, and high point total games. Have a double stack with your quarterback with a bring back player from the same game. Try and capitalize on any kind of shootouts that happen during the game. Pay down on defense because of the low variance in the points. In the points scored by defenses. Don't be afraid to pay down on tight end either as well for the same reason. But the main thing is make sure you have the double stack, bring back players for your lineup to try and capitalize on the high point total game. So, again, it's super duper early before the season starts. So, any kind of injuries, trades, or whatever, anything can happen. You can definitely, and the thing is about it, as long as the players don't, as long as the game hasn't started, you can edit your lineups all the way up until the first snap or the first kickoff. So, but that's a good solid lineup. And again, early in the season is where you're going to find your most value. So take advantage of it if you can. So, going to go ahead and do another best ball draft tonight too. See if we can see what kind of draft position we get to pick from this time. See if we can find that number one pick somehow. And by gosh, I think we might have actually done it. That would be so insane. Finally picked from number one. Oh my god. Wow. This is the first I don't think I've ever done. I don't think I've ever drafted from number one position. I don't even know what to do right now. Wow. I'm legitimately shocked right now. Like, wow. I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. Well, it's either Taylor or McCaffrey. I'm going to go ahead and pick up McCaffrey just because just about every draft I've seen, Taylor's gone first. And so just to be different and pivot off of that, I'm going to go ahead and just get McCaffrey. Not that it's going to make that much of a difference, but because both players are going to be drafted anyway. So, wow, Taylor actually dropped to third. So, 24th and 25th pick. Now I got to figure out about building my first stack here. I can go for broke and go for that Charger stack again, but I think I'm going to pass on that. You know what? I'm going to go really, 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 really different. I'm going to reach for DJ because I know I can get Baker late in the draft, and I don't have to basically hound and sweat getting my QB1 with a big stack like that. So because I don't know where Burrow's going typically. I'm blind. Dude. No, duh. Right there. 73. So I could go after him, theoretically speaking. So I can pick up Higgins and DJ Moore, knowing I can probably get Baker, possibly Joe Burrow. Where's Mixon going? Is he already gone? Joe Mixon, yeah. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. If he's there, I'll pick up Higgins. Go ahead and reach for. Go ahead and reach for Moore. Go back 48. Where's Herbert going? He's going 44th. See, now I'm second guessing myself whether or not I should pick up Williams or Allen. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Moore because I know I'm going to get him. But I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and pick up, I'm going to get Higgins. I'm going to stick with what I originally said. Because I know I got Mike Williams on another draft. So, just to go ahead and be disciplined in my strategy, stick with that. So now I know I can build that stack there. Just got to keep an eye on Baker, make sure no one snipes him away. Which he's going around 200 So I'll have to reach for him a little bit. But that's fine. I'll get first dibs at him. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Cooks if he's there too. Or I can go Waller. Get one of those premium tight ends that are rare at that point. This guy's going 2 tight ends already. Why? And he reached for Lamar. That's wild. That is a bold move. Bold strategy, Cotton. See if it pays off for him. 2 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds. I can see going 1 quarterback in the first round. Unless he's just being a troll right now. But that's wild. That's really wild. He'll probably end up picking Parham at some point. He's probably going to end up going for the Kyler Murray stack, picking up Rondale Moore. And just because I'm salty, I'm going to try and pick him up. Trying to ruin his night. Do I have the draft position to do it, though? Probably not. Unless I just reach ridiculously. Then again, he's bye week 13. That might not be a good idea. He'll probably go Akabunum, tight end for Denver, along with Russell Wilson. So, all right, who's the last pick? Robinson. All right. So, tight end strategy didn't really pan out. I'll wait till the next round because there's going to be plenty of tight ends there. Go Gabe Davis. Go ahead and go for that correlation with Josh Allen. And because I think I've passed on him every single time, I think I'm going to go Schuster. Yeah. No. Yeah. I just went Metcalf on accident. Wow. See, talking too much. No. I was second guessing myself. I was really wanting to go Bateman last second just because of the targets. But if Jimmy G goes to Seattle, that might actually work out okay. but definitely a mistake on my part. Not intentional. But then again, he might just go nuts this season. So. There he goes. I mean, that's a solid pick. I like Bateman there. He's about to go. He's going to pick up Russell Wilson, more than likely. If not, he's going to wait for the next go around at 64. Unless he picks up Carr or Matt Ryan. I would imagine he goes after this stack here if he's an experienced player. Okay. Well, it says he's got plenty of time, actually. So. If he's going at 70th, he might pick him up here. Or 79th. He might get there. I'm seeing if anybody's got any correlation going on. There's one right there, so you might pick up par him at one point. I wonder if I stole his pick taking Gabe Davis right there. Probably need to find some value at running back too at some point. 72, 73, 96. See what kind of running backs we got in 96 position. Yeah, got plenty of value. Hopefully he's there. Probably am probably going to be there. So, let's go ahead and move these down. Alright, I can't play around these two picks here. They better hope you don't fall. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to go ahead and go Thomas there. It's risky, but the upside is just too much to pass on. And as I say that, Thielen and Thomas are there. As much as I like Schultz, there's still plenty of value later on in the draft to pick up. So, and Tony Pollard's there too. Doubt he'll drop to us, but If he does, that might be huge. There's no way he drops to us, but in the event he does, that'd be awesome. Should probably think about getting a quarterback, huh? $6.97, 120. Let's see. 120th position. I can go with Kirk Cousins. He'll most likely fall there to that position, and I can pick up Irv Smith. But so I'll let Joe Burrow slip through. I completely lost focus on that. But again, as I said in one of the last streams, you know, make mistakes or something doesn't go the way you think. You can pivot, and there's going to be more options. Gosh, that'd be awesome if he fell to us. That'd be insane. There's no way. And he gets picked up on auto draft. My life. All right. Ramondre Stevenson. I've been getting Hawkinson a lot these past couple drafts. Not entirely sure how he's falling every single time, or why he's falling every single time, but I mean, if he keeps falling, I'm gonna pick him up. There's a good core of pass catchers there in Detroit, but still. All right. I need to get running back. Again, I can pick up I can pick up my two quarterbacks still. Even if Kirk Cousins doesn't fall all the way there. Well, see where Jones Jr. is going, if he's still out. There he is. Then we got Dan Arnold too, which he's quietly been a very, well, my memory serves me right, he was pretty productive last year. I mean, 52 targets in a terrible offense led by Urban Meyer. I mean, picks away. So I can go, even if I miss out on Cousins, I can still go Trevor Lawrence and build a mini stack there. Which in reality, I'm not really focused on. Not really focused on that stack, more so Baker Mayfield. So I'll go after him probably the 169th pick, just to make sure I get him, because it's kind of crucial with 2 picks like that. No, Rondale Moore's still there. I know I said I wasn't. There's like a little gnat here on my screen. Alright. Let me see. 10 picks away. So there goes Cousins. So again, gonna have to rethink those picks. Trying to figure out where to go from here. You know, and I know you've seen a guy Watson sitting there, but with that, obviously he's going to miss the first 6 games, but the upside that he can provide your lineup is massive. So I may just go ahead and pick him up, not this go around, but in this area here, just because of the kind of difference he can make in your lineup. Alright, so he picked up Rondale Moore. Alright. I think I may even misspoke earlier and said Treylon Burks when he plays for the Titans instead of Jalen Tolbert, when I was thinking of the Cowboys and their limited targets, or their target spread rather. So with that being said, it'll be reaching a good bit. I may just do it just because of how I think that ADP is no longer valid with that Washington injury. So, and then one tight end. I can go Irv Smith. Yeah. Yeah, I think I will. I think we'll go Irv Smith. Pick one of these two next go around, and then pick up another running back. Definitely pick up either Foreman or Hubbard. Make sure I got somebody in place of McCaffrey in case he gets injured again this season. It'd be nice if he fell to us too, but can't count on it. Am I the only one who hadn't drafted a running back yet? Or a quarterback yet? Nope. Gesicki went off the board. I wasn't really anticipating that. Although I did just go tight end again. I may hold off on Henry in the case I do get Watson. If I don't get Watson, I'll definitely go Henry. But I keep forgetting that he went to New England. With the exception of the major difference in weather, that might end up being like one of those picks that really round out your roster this year, and people won't even realize it until it's too late. Definitely need some running back depth. He might pick up Watson. There's no way. He has to go Winston. Nope, Parker. 5 quarterbacks now. He just wants all the quarterbacks. Just give him all of them. That's wild. That's freaking wild. Winston, Ryan, Stafford, Wilson, Josh Allen. If there's going to be a spike week, he's going to be a part of it. All right. So exactly 0 of the players I wanted to drop are there. So that's always fun. I'll trust in Jarvis Landry to take on a big role this year. I was thinking about going Michael Carter, but again, hoping he falls and knowing that there's more backups later on in the draft, I can still scoop those up. You know, as exciting as it is to draft from the first spot, it takes forever to get back to you. Holy mess. Like, gosh. I mean, it's not often you can pick up McCaffrey or have the choice between McCaffrey or Taylor, but dadgum. That's such a long wait. Alright, so since I'm not getting Watson, get rid of him. Pivot towards Tunyon. That very centralized target centralized targets really for that Green Bay offense. So I'm becoming a little bit weary, like, of making sure I get a legit QB1. Because I think I'm the only one that hasn't got a QB yet other than him. And he could very well just screw up my entire draft. And pick up Baker. That would really, 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 really stink. But we gotta think positively. We gotta be positive. And there goes Tunyon. So getting sniped, guys. We'll pull a Watkins. All right, because I'm sweating hard right now on picking up Baker. I'm going to go ahead and reach ridiculously for him just to ensure I can complete this stack, this McCaffrey Moore stack. Unless this guy decides he doesn't have enough quarterbacks, in which case, I mean, I've never seen that many quarterbacks on one single team ever. Traditional best ball, whatever. I've never seen that. That's insane. If you pick up Baker, okay. I wanted him, but I'd rather him take him than someone take Baker. I'm one away. Please don't take Baker. Thank you. Okay. It was getting too crazy for me to just pass on Baker at that point. I'm going to go with Crowder. No. Yeah, Crowder. One of these two guys, week in and week out, are going to have to, any given week, one of these guys can score 15 plus fantasy points between Gabe and Jamison Crowder with that offense. So I'll just take that. And obviously, in the case of injury, whether it's Diggs or either of these two, I'm covered as long as Allen stays healthy as well. But all right. I don't even know how many quarterbacks been taken besides mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That's almost the entire NFL. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. I don't think there's. That's just wild. I mean, Trubisky will probably end up winning the starting job in Pittsburgh. I don't know. I'm stuck between picking one of these two up as my second quarterback. I definitely need one for sure, but Mariota has more upside as far as running the ball. Pittsburgh definitely has the better weapons as far as pass catchers go. So, I don't know. It's kind of a pick your poison type deal. But then again, things go sideways. They drafted a rookie. So, it's same case here at Pittsburgh. That's tough. Although I would say I probably have more faith in well, I can't even say that either. I was about to say have more faith in Trubisky, but can't even say that. I mean, Mariota, he actually was successful as a starter at some point in his career, whereas Trubisky, granted, he didn't have the best support staff that one could ask for as far as a head coach, but gosh. That really stinks because, that's one of the things about best ball and traditional fantasy drafts is you kind of already know where you're going to be able to find value for a certain position group, whether it's quarterback, receiver, running back, tight end. Like early on, obviously, you can definitely get your your big time, RB1, and then go back to back with two solid wide pass catchers, wide receivers, or whatever. But then you're picking middle of the pack for quarterback in the 4th round, which I definitely waited a long time for that. But all right, I'm on the clock. I like McKissick. Let's see. What's my next pick? 216. In hopes that he's still going to be there, I'm going to go ahead and pick up. Screw it. I'm not even going to take either one of them. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Mills. He was a one-year starter, basically beat out everybody else to win the starting position, whereas you got these two guys who are A-plus backups in the NFL versus a guy who actually had to beat out the rest of his quarterback room in order to get a starting position. So it might be an impulse decision, but I think it's a solid one nonetheless. Went too heavy on wide receiver this year, or this draft here, so it is what it is, I guess. Definitely got to go running back. Can't just go 3. If Ingram's there, I'll pick him. I won't even worry about tight end. I mean, those are 2 solid picks for tight end. If both of them get hurt, whatever. What can you do? I didn't get to insure McCaffrey, which really, really stinks. Unless I picked him up. If he falls. So I think that's the most important pick right now. Just making sure I get Hubbard if he's there. Not my best draft that I've done so far on stream, but it can't always be winners. They can't all go to plan. It can't always be error-free as far as decision making. So it wasn't completely off the rails either. So it also doesn't help when someone drafts 5 quarterbacks in best ball. Kind of changes the dynamic pretty drastically. Which, who knows, this guy might be thinking way past what any other fantasy player is thinking right now, and he might just be ahead of the curve. Who knows? Might win the whole thing. Might win all the 200,000 at the first place spot. Highly doubt it, but still. Can't remember who it was. Goat. Six quarterbacks. I'm sorry. I misspoke. He took 6 quarterbacks. 6. Oh my gosh. He has more quarterbacks than I have running backs. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. I can tell you this. He'll probably have the most highest projected points, though, out of everybody. Which these guys have the highly experienced badge. They're sitting at the 2700 spot, and I'm right in line with that. So makes me feel a little bit better, even though this wasn't exactly my best showing. So yeah, not my best showing, not my best draft, but like I said, you can't always hit your mark per se, but it's the way it goes sometimes. But it's by no means a bad draft, though. I mean, you got some solid picks there. You got some coverage as far as spike games, shootouts, or anything like that. Insured Christian McCaffrey, got the double stack. So, who knows? This might actually end up being the best lineup I have, and it wasn't even what I thought it would be. So, nonetheless, come back and follow the page if you haven't already. Check out the other videos I have on my Twitch channel. Be a friend, tell a friend. If you didn't like it, never happened. But thanks again. Appreciate you.